Hi, everyone. I'm Dan Abrams, and this is Court Cam.
Call the buzzer. Call.
Take him back! Take him out!
Die in prison as well.
Hello, Your Honor. Mr. Green.
Can you tell me your name?
Roy Green Man.
First up, we're in the Orange County Courthouse in Orlando, Florida, where Dale Roy Greenman is in a bond hearing for theft charges. He's accused of stealing a pack of cigarettes, a Bic lighter, and a Gatorade from a 7-Eleven. According to police reports, Greenman walked into the store, placed the items on the counter, then decided to walk out without paying. He faces misdemeanor charges of petty theft. The hearing begins rather cordially.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
Hello, Your Honor.
State your name.
Mr. Green.
tell me your name?
Roy Green Man.
But Greenman, whose bond is set at $250, listens closely when Judge Carly Wish asks the state if they have a better offer that might get him out of any jail time.
You were arrested for petty theft. Did you find probable cause? Miss Kenny Swanson, did you have an offer?
I did not, Your Honor.
No offer? Is that due to the out-of-state criminal history?
Yes, Your Honor.
Prior to today's hearing, Greenman was charged with tampering with evidence in another case, which potentially elevates his current misdemeanor charge. And Judge Wish is about to break the news.
So, Mr. Greenman, you have prior history out of state, and so the state may enhance this offense to a felony based on your priors. So I can't do anything with your case today. I am going to appoint the public defender for you.
That's horse. You do whatever the you want.
Excuse me?
My name is Mr. Green Man. I'm the federal witness of the United States federal government. I demand respect, you. Let's get a jail around the Lord y'all did and figure out what you're
Alright,
doing.
he can be removed once y'all get him out.
Now.
Greenman erupts after the judge tells him the state may raise his charges from a misdemeanor to a felony.
You're not.
That's horse. You do whatever the you want.
Excuse me?
My name is Mr.
Two officials on hand move in swiftly to restrain Greenman. But before they grab his wrists, he rips off his mask and begins shouting that he's a federal witness.
Mr. Green Man. I'm the federal witness of the United States federal government. I demand.
Then Judge Wish, seemingly unfazed by the outburst, just carries on with the business of the day without missing a beat.
Alright then. No contact with any victims or witnesses in the case. And I'm gonna set his bond at $1,000.
A few moments later, the two officials return to sanitize the podium. Dale Roy Greenman's bond was increased from $250 to $1,000. According to court documents, he was released on reconnaissance a week later, which means he signed a document promising that he'd appear at his next court date. Shocker, Greenman failed to show up at that pretrial hearing, and a warrant was issued for his arrest.
St. John?
Next, we take you inside the Harris County Courthouse in Houston, Texas. It's January 2021. The defendant is David St. John, who's in court for aggravated sexual assault of a child and felony possession of a weapon. St. John took a teenage girl to a hotel, then he allegedly raped her. The 39-year-old already had 6 felony convictions to his name and was out on bond for 3 other charges when the attack occurred. One of his pending charges was possession of the gun that was later used during the alleged assault.
You are charged with the aggravated sexual assault of a child older than 14 but younger than 17.
As the charges are being read, St. John seems a bit shifty. Then, completely unattended, he walks to the front row.
Did you know you're nothing? Did you know you're nothing?
St. John repeats the question, did you learn your lesson, before cold cocking the man. The victim takes off as an officer rushes over and tackles St. John.
Call someone.
So was I. Sit down. I'm learning your lesson. Hey!
Even as he's being cuffed, St. John continues to offer advice.
You need to learn your lesson or you don't end up like me. Get up.
You don't have a panic button.
It's unclear why St. John attacked the man, but as he's escorted out, he makes a final comment. The victim of the attack seems to walk away unscathed.
Are you okay, Mr. Randall?
Oh, no, I'm fine.
And there were no additional charges brought against St. John. He remained in jail while awaiting his trial.
Don't end up like me.
For the trial of 42-year-old Monica Youngblood. Today, she's answering to the law, but most days, she's making laws as a New Mexico state representative. The three-term Republican lawmaker is known for being tough on crime.
You have any alcohol, you said?
No.
No. All right, Monica, go and jump on out. Is your dog okay to stay in the car?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so go and step on out, all right? And don't move behind her, she's dressed.
After performing a quick eye test, Youngblood's instructed to walk a line, heel to toe.
The first step that you take is your number one step, okay? Do you understand?
So 1,
Okay, I think you understand. Go.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now it's sobriety test number 3.
Okay, can you count backwards from 47 to 32 for me, please, out loud?
47, 46, 45, 33, 32, 31, 30. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. Youngblood failed to properly follow the directions and counted down past the number 32.
So what needs to happen now is I need to give you the opportunity to do a breath test, okay? Depending on the results of that breath test is how we go from here, okay? So I need to place you under arrest for DWI. So go and turn around for me and put your hand backwards. Yes, turn around. Turn around. Turn around. Put your hands right. Turn around. Put your hands right back. You have had alcohol. I can smell alcohol.
I literally did everything right.
You did everything right. They're not
I
tests.
did too.
Stop turning around on me, please. Thank you so much.
After being placed in the back of a squad car, Youngblood continues to plead her case.
You performed the test, but yeah, you did really, really poorly on the test.
Are you kidding me?
No, ma'am. I don't have a reason to joke with you.
I have done everything you asked me to do.
I understand that you
I've done it
complied.
perfectly.
No, you did not.
Perhaps sensing the walls closing in around her, she then touts her record of supporting law enforcement as a legislator.
I literally fight for you guys
Well, that doesn't make it okay to drink and drive.
I'm not drinking and driving.
Okay.
Seriously. So many people told me that you guys treat people like a and I didn't believe it.
I'm not treating you poorly at all.
Youngblood's then taken to a mobile testing unit,
Okay, go ahead and walk forward to the left, please.
where she's asked to take a breathalyzer test.
This way. Listen to me, I'm about to read you something that's important. Right now, you are under arrest for DWI. Monica, could you agree to submit to a breath test?
Increased to aggravated DWI, which if convicted carries a mandatory jail sentence. 4 months later, a bench trial begins, and Youngblood presents her defense. She claims the sobriety checkpoint itself was unconstitutional. But that defense doesn't hold up for Judge Kevin Fitzwater, who argues the most telling evidence is right in the video.
Meter strikes me as somebody who either didn't understand the gravity of the situation or whose mental faculties were somewhat impaired.
Youngblood was ultimately found guilty of aggravated DWI. Later at sentencing, she addresses the court.
I am ready to accept those consequences. My actions that evening, while I regret them immensely, they do have consequences, and I am here today to accept them.
Monica Youngblood would receive the mandatory minimum sentence of 48 hours in jail. The judge awarded 1-day time served for the 4 hours she spent in custody the night of the offense. She was also placed on probation for a year, issued 24 hours community service, and an ignition interlock device was installed on her vehicle. This means that for the car's ignition to even start, to blow into a device and record a legal alcohol content level. Just weeks after being sentenced, Youngblood lost her bid for a 4th term as a New Mexico state representative. Next, we take you to Bond Court in Brevard County, Florida. Judge Ali B. Majid presiding. The defendant is James Rivera, who's charged with possession of a small amount of marijuana and possession of drug paraphernalia, both misdemeanors. Below the judge is the public defender, who's representing Rivera.
How old are you?
32 years old, sir.
What type of work you do?
Right now I'm a disabled vet, and I perform music to stay sober-minded and calm and collected, sir.
What type of music you play?
I play country music, sir, hip-hop, and alternative rock.
You play an instrument or you sing?
I sing, I'm an exceptional guitar player, and I play percussion.
You got a favorite country singer?
I gotta say Johnny Cash.
You know his famous song, Ring of Fire?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me hear a few verses. I might help you out.
Oh, man, I've never been so nervous on the spot.
In
the golden ring. I can't do it right now, sir.
Rivera may be suffering from stage fright, but this judge isn't ready to give up on his Johnny Cash request just yet.
What's your favorite Johnny Cash song?
My favorite, Walk the Line.
All right, let me hear it. Give me a few verses.
And I walk. I'm too nervous right now, Your Honor.
Judge Majid does not seem impressed with Rivera's performance.
Song by Johnny Cash. You want me to tell you a few lines that you're facing right now?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know how to sing any Johnny Cash songs. I just like the music.
Disappointed, Judge Majid goes deep into the Cash catalog to let Rivera know what he's facing.
But right now, you're looking at Folsom Prison Blues right now.
I get the joke. I like it.
You like that, huh?
Sir.
Yeah, you look at some Folsom Prison Blues.
The judge sets Rivera's total bond at $500, but just below him, the public defender has something he wants to say about the disabled veteran.
Your Honor?
Yes.
On behalf of the defense, if I may.
I thought you what? You were going to sing a Johnny Cash song instead?
Oh, Your Honor, that's the last thing you want. I'm a terrible singer. What I was going to ask, Your Honor, is Mr. Rivera is a disabled veteran. Mr. Rivera has extremely minor criminal history. And, Your Honor, in my time as defense attorney, I have seen countless times that our disabled veterans self-medicate using cannabis. These are people that we sent overseas to defend our freedoms. They come home broken. We don't do anything to help them.
Judge Majid takes the attorney's statement under consideration.
Which branch of the military you served?
Army.
How many years?
I did 2 years active duty as an infantryman, then I went into reserves.
Well, to you and all the veterans who serve our nation, I want you to know we're very grateful.
I appreciate that.
Your bond to 100 and 250.
Even though his song request went unfulfilled, the judge cuts Rivera a break and lowers his bond to $350.
I wish you well.
Yes, sir.
I've been told that the jury's reached a verdict. Is that correct?
Next, we head to Batesville, Mississippi for the verdict in the trial of Quentin Tellis. The 29-year-old is charged with capital murder in the death of Jessica Chambers. Chambers, who was only 19, was doused with gasoline and set on fire in her own car. Tellis admitted being with Chambers the night she was killed and claimed they had a sexual relationship, but he denied any involvement in her death. On the night she was killed, Chambers can be seen on surveillance footage at a gas station. About 90 minutes later, firefighters responded to a call about a burning car. When they arrived, they found Chambers still alive, with burns covering 98% of her body. First responders testified that before being airlifted to the hospital, she told them her attacker was named Eric. She died the next day. Police investigated the Eric lead, but found no suspects with that name. Instead, using cell phone records, they were able to place Tellis and Chambers together just before the attack, and he was charged with capital murder and the naming of Eric to sow doubt in the state's case.
All right, you bring the jury in, please.
The trial lasted 6 days, and the jury deliberated for 10 hours before reaching a verdict. If convicted, Tellis could be sentenced to death. The trial judge is Gerald Chatham.
I've been told that the jury's reached a verdict. Is that correct? I don't need to know what your verdict was, but I just need to know, did all 12 jurors agree on that verdict?
Yes, sir, we did.
Would you hand the verdict, please, to the court, to the clerk? Excuse me.
We all did agree on
Sir?
We all did agree on
Sir?
You said we all agreed on that verdict. We did.
All 12. The verdict has to be unanimous. So all 12 did not agree on the verdict? Is that what you're telling me, sir?
Yeah, I did agree.
The courtroom is stunned because the jury must unanimously agree on the verdict, be it guilty or not guilty. So the jury's ordered back to their room to discuss the case further. After 20 agonizing minutes, the jury returns.
Once again, I've been informed that the jury has reached a verdict. Is that correct? Yes, sir. Now I need to ask you, is it unanimous?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has that verdict been recorded on a separate sheet of paper?
Yes, Your Honor.
Would you pass it to the clerk, please? Would the clerk please read the verdict?
We, the jury, find the defendant, Quentin Burdell Tellis, not guilty of capital murder.
As family members on both sides try to contain their emotions, the prosecution asks that each juror be polled individually just to be sure. This trial is not over yet.
We'll ask each one of you if that is your verdict. All right. Ms. Ms. Mr.
Guilty.
Mr.
Guilty.
Wait, what? Confusion remains.
Mr.
Guilty.
It seems that although the jury is claiming its verdict is not guilty, nearly half of them are saying the opposite, and people in the courtroom are taking notice of the situation. So is the prosecutor.
Well, I'm way misunderstanding here.
The judge polls the individual jurors a second time and gets the same results.
Mr.
I voted guilty.
All right, Mr.
I voted guilty.
It is now clear there is an obvious miscommunication between judge and jury.
I don't know why the verdict was recorded as it was.
Upon further investigation, it was determined the jury confusion stemmed from their instructions, but the jury had to be unanimous for either verdict. So the judge reiterates the verdict must be unanimous and sends them back a third time to work through their differences.
I'm going to ask you to go back, consider your verdict, deliberate, and please record your verdict accurately. All right?
Both the defendant and victim's family can only wait, frustrated, as the judge and jury attempt to work out the issue. After further deliberation of over an hour, the jury is unable to reach a unanimous verdict. The judge has no choice but to declare a mistrial. Tellis is retried a year later with the same conclusion, a split jury resulting in another mistrial. Prosecutors may decide to try Tellis a third time. He's currently sitting in a Louisiana state prison for an unrelated crime. That's all for this edition of Court Cam. I'm Dan Abrams. Thanks for watching.